All right, so we've watched some video on YouTube about Salvador Dali, and we've seen some video of what collage looks like. So to start off your Salvador Dali landscape or indoor scene, you need to understand 1-point perspective and 2-point perspective, because you got to make a decision on whether you're going to do 1-point perspective outdoors, 1-point perspective indoors, 2-point perspective outdoors, or 2-point perspective indoors. Now traditionally we're going to start off with 1-point perspective, and it would be outdoors. So you have a vanishing point, you have a horizon line, and you have one vanishing point in the center of the paper. Now you don't always have to have the straight road. You could have a road that was windy, except the road's going to be smaller and it's going to get bigger as it comes closer to you. Or the road could be the traditional straight road, and here's all the lines for the middle of the road, and you'd have a building, or you'd have some light posts, telephone poles, and everything gets smaller as it goes out, and you have to run your horizon, your vanishing points to your horizon line. That's how 1-point perspective is done. It could be simple as putting in some mountains across the back, maybe some mountains behind that, maybe your sun, and there's your outdoor landscape. And you're going to put a couple of pictures in there and make your dreamlike fantasy area. So that's how 1-point perspective would be done. If you wanted a 1-point perspective, like in an inside area, you'd have to find the center of your paper. So you go from the corner of the paper to the corner of the paper with your ruler, and you make an X, and that's going to give you about the center of the paper. Then on those lines, you're going to measure up however big you want the back wall. Let's go with 4 inches. When we go 4 inches, we're going to measure from the center out 4 inches on each of these lines. And then once we have that done, we're going to draw lines vertical and horizontal, and this is going to give us the back wall. Now, you're not going to see these lines. I drew them really lightly because I knew I was going to erase them. You go from the corner to the corner, and from the corner to the corner with your ruler. I'm not using a ruler because it's faster this way for demonstration purposes. So here, this is either an elevator shaft and you're standing up at the top looking down, or it's a room and you're looking inside. So if it's the room that we're in right here, you'd want to have some tiles on the floor, because that's what we have on the floor, and every one of the lines for the tiles goes to the vanishing point. All right, we have the square tiles on the floor. The lines for horizontal lines for the back of the tiles are going to be closer together, and they're going to get further apart because the tiles at the big front of the room are bigger than the ones at the back of the room. That's perspective. This would be the ceiling. Now you can leave it open and make it a nighttime sky, a daytime sky. You could have it a lava pit for whatever you want. But if you want to put a door or window on any of these, they have to go to the vanishing point. So a door would be vertical lines, just like a door is, but the top of the door is going to go to the vanishing point. This line goes to the vanishing point. So the top of your door kind of matches the same direction as the top of that wall where the wall and the ceiling meet. If you had a window on the door, like we have a window in our door, the top of the window is going to go to the vanishing point. The bottom of the window is going to go to the vanishing point. You're going to have your doorknob. If you had a window over here on this side, you'd have a vertical for where your window is, and you'd line up with your vanishing point to say that this window is this tall. And the down part and the inside part all have to be vertical lines for these pieces, and this goes to the vanishing point, this one goes to the vanishing point, and this one goes to the vanishing point. Everything goes to the vanishing point. So now you have it inside of your room. So you're going to do something like Rene Magritte's listening chamber with the big apple sitting in the room, or you're going to put other items in the room. There's a room that's in 1-point perspective. Now, we all know how we're going to do 2-point perspective, because we just did that with our cityscape. You have your vanishing, your horizon line and your vanishing points. We're going to do we're going to rip off and directly copy, and you can change it around if you want, but this is the same as Dali's Persistence of Memory series, where he's got the horizon, he's got his mountains of his town there in Spain, and we're going to put in some different levels of the mountains, and the mountains come down towards you, so you don't see any of the horizon through the mountains. We get rid of that. And we got our jaggedy mountain cliffs here, and there's a shadow on this side because the light's coming from the other side of the mountain over there. And here's where the sky meets the water, and here's where the land meets the water. So this is the inlet of the bay. There's the thing. He's got a box over here, and this line goes to the vanishing point. This line goes to the vanishing point. This line goes to the vanishing point. He's got a tree with a branch, and he's got his floppy clock hanging over there. Now, you don't have to put all those, but if you have something like this, that's going to, with the horizon line and the water line and the mountains, and then you can go build the rest of your, decide, you know, what pictures you're going to use and how to put that in there. The last style is a two-point perspective, and it's a room. So you're going to see the corner of the room. So here's your vanishing point, and here's your vanishing point, and this line here is going to represent the center of your room. Now, the line for the top of this left side wall is going to go to the right vanishing point, just like when we did the blocking buildings. And the bottom wall is going to go to the right vanishing point because this is the left side, just like your blocking building. You have your vanishing point over here on this side of the paper, which is the right side of the paper, and it's going to go, the wall is going to go to that vanishing point, and this wall is going to go to that vanishing point. So now what you have is you have a corner of a room, and again, we wouldn't see the horizon line. But again, this is the floor, that's the ceiling, there's the left wall and the right wall, and this is two-point perspective. So if you were putting a couch over here, you know, the back of the couch would go to the vanishing point. The bottom of the couch would go to the vanishing point. This part of the couch is going to go to that vanishing point. That part of the couch is going to go to that vanishing point. That part of the couch is going to go to that one. That's going to go over there to that vanishing point, and it's going to come down here. And all these lines are going to go to the vanishing points. And now this is a two-point perspective bench that's inside this room. If you had a door or a window over here on this wall, the top of the bottom of the window is going to go to this vanishing point. The top of the window is going to go to this vanishing point. And now this is two-point perspective. And here's your buildings. This gives you a different view. Maybe that's your idea. Maybe you're going to draw, you know, a jet plane flying through the window. Who knows what your idea is? You got to find photographs. But this is the two-point perspective room. That's a two-point perspective landscape. There's the one-point perspective room. And see how that one looks different than this one. These have two different looks to them because one's in one-point perspective and this is in two-point perspective. So those rooms look differently. And traditionally, it's always better to do one-point perspective with the paper doing the long direction so you get, and it doesn't have to be this way, but it can be that way. And it works out better as far as the space that you get to use. Then after you've decided what type of format you're going to use, you need to find some photographs, decide how you're going to do your coloring, and then you're ready to make your Salvador Dali video. Not video, your Salvador Dali composition.